from flip side tactics, we have the Mexican Terran player Nero, not Neuro, Nero, similar to Neuro, the last player we casted. And the bottom right, his opponent from EG, we have HuK. Let me adjust the volume just a little bit, because sometimes there's a sound glitch where the alerts go a lot louder than they're supposed to. We're playing on Cactus Valley LE Void Edition, where the minerals are lower on some of the patches. So as you can see, 3 of those patches right here and this one are lower minerals. So as you can see, they're like already almost mined out, which makes the game a lot faster. Around 6-7 minutes, we'll see both players relocate their workers to a new base to continue to prosper their economy. I don't know if that's the right way to use that sentence, but also one thing too is a mule is 250 minerals. So if you are to cast a mule on one of the low patches, you can mine out like insanely quickly as a Terran player, which can be a scary thing. But in this game so far, we have Nero going for a CC first into a barracks and a gas. Now HuK is just going to be playing it standard gate into Cybercore, and he will put down a Nexus before the second pylon. That's a very, very interesting way to play. He's also sitting on 1 gas, so you know, he's not gonna have the fastest tech in the world, but he's gonna be on par with the economy of his opponent, who's going for a CC first, which is really important, especially on a. I think one of the reasons HuK is doing that decision is because it's a 4-player map. It's a 4-player map, so it's very expensive to scout. You might just not scout. You know, you might scout him last, and so this blind play by HuK, who has no knowledge of what his opponent is doing, is I like it quite a lot. On the opposite side, Nero going for 3 racks. There's no he added the gas. He mined 100 gas. 100 gas for 2 Reaper opening? No, okay, Reaper into Reactor. Seems to be a little bit of a Heart of the Swarm build order. But yeah, so basically he's not all about that Cyclone life. He's just playing standard, going for the barracks, going for the SCVs, the mule. His opponent, though, HuK, already started with a Phoenix. Phoenix, the best way right now, in everyone's opinion. That might change later since it's only 1 week into the beta, but everyone's opinion about a Phoenix is that it's the best tool to shut down Cyclones. HuK quite fond of Phoenix play in Heart of the Swarm, and so that's gonna go into his advantage. Some players, myself included, don't make Phoenixes that often in PvT, but HuK's used to it. He's gonna live the Phoenix. That's gonna be a nice skill. Of course, it reveals his tech of choice to Nero, and Nero going for the 3rd CC. Nero not afraid. Also, one change in Legacy of the Void is the turret doesn't require an engineering bay. As you can see, Nero doesn't have an engineering bay. It only requires a barracks. So I'm not sure why they made that decision. Maybe it's in the patch notes and I didn't see. Although I think the patch notes didn't include the thoughts of David Kim. It just included the patch notes themselves. Robo transition. After 3 Phoenixes, we see a Robo out of HuK. HuK is gonna be poking around, killing the first SCV. So it's the 2nd unit kill of the game. Gonna see the 3rd command center, and he's gonna get out of there for now. Mothership core, that's a late Mothership core. We're talking 420 Mothership core. And like the thing is, like, he didn't know it was CC first up until now. So that's crazy. Alright, so we have a 3rd by HuK. He's gonna choose this base. I'm not sure which is best, to be honest. I'm not sure HuK knows which is best either. Although if he were to hear me say that, he would disagree. But the Robo Bay for the disruptors, most likely, with Legacy of the Void, Colossus they're hugely nerfed, and so the disruptor is really the best way to go about getting some AoE versus Terran. 2 Panons at the third for HuK, sitting on 4 Phoenixes, and Nero with his Gar, but this real nickname is Nero. Not sure why he chose Gar in Legacy, but very late move out, you know. Of course, the endgame timer has been changed. That's something that a lot of people don't know. Is if we look at anything like a forge or like a probe and Heart of the Storm, I think is 20 seconds, and then in Legacy is 12 seconds because before it was using Blizzard time, which was a little bit faster than real time, and now it has been slowed down to real time. So, you know, in Heart of the Storm, you would say, oh, Terran's going to move out at 10 minutes with their Medivacs. But in this case, it's a little bit different. But it still feels like Nero is moving out very slowly. Oh, one of the Phoenixes almost gets picked off there by HuK. So far, the unit loss tab has been impeccable by HuK. Killed 10 units, that's 600 unit loss. And the first disruptors on the is out, and we're gonna have a carrier transition. After 2 disruptors, we already have a carrier transition. Also, they changed the coloring of the minimap, so it's like really like paler. I don't know if you can see. Sometimes it's really hard to notice where the units actually are. Like this red Terran is difficult to see, but we have 2 disruptors. I like the positioning. They're there, you know. If the Terran walks close by, of course, one thing that's really nice about the Phoenixes is that it's the best friend. It's the best friend of a disruptor, because you crank up the disruptor, you use the Purification Nova, and then to dodge that, they're gonna load up inside the Medivac. And when they do that, that's when you actually use the. You see, like, he loaded up everything. And that's, oh wow, he almost killed his own stalkers. And that's when you use the Phoenixes to try to shut down the Medivacs. Oh, and we have a second drop here coming in by Nero. Very nasty drops, 2 Widow Mines, lots of bio. One of the disruptors is going to come in, but oh, and he killed the Widow Mine, so that's nice. But the drops is going to load up and go inside the main base. Zealots are being warped. The first carrier is about to pop. There's also an engagement right here, and HuK gets 7 kills on his disruptor. The Zealots and 1 Phoenix inside the main base are going to try to shut this down. Only 1 Marine left remaining at the front. Nero was forced to back after losing mostly everything to the disruptor. The supply, 136 versus 100. HuK, really nice macro throughout all of this. The problem is all the lead that he's built up for himself up until this point has been equalized. He was up 600 units lost tab. Now it's 2,500 to 2,200. Still building carriers, going for shields, going for hair weapon. He's got 2 disruptor here at his third. And Nero. And yeah, like, the nicest thing about the disruptors is they one-shot Widow Mines. In the past, Storms weren't able to do that, but disruptors can, and disruptor will be your friend. Big move from Nero going to the natural of HuK. Some of the cannons are going to help. Guardian Shield's being casted. There's just so much going on right now. Add the third, the 2 carriers. We have a total of 3 carriers right now. That's really nice. Disruptor gets shot in the face by the Widow Mine. And we have a 4th base by Nero. Almost completed. 2nd starport. He's gonna have to do something if he wants to be the carriers. He can either make more Medivacs and drop everywhere, or he has to transition into Vikings. I'm not sure which he's gonna choose. We have a lot of Medivacs here. We might see a Doom drop, but no. Only 2 Medivacs being dropped at the third of HuK. Or natural, and it's actually going for the main. I have to do some camera locations here because there's just so much going on. Okay, so... Oh, what the hell? That's not what I wanted to do at all. So some of the carriers are going to go to the main, the disruptor at the front, the units are going to be loaded up, and they're going to kill the disruptor too. That's a shame. At the third, there's 2 carriers defending, and these units, the last Phoenix gets picked off. The Widow Mine is reactivated, so he's just going to send carriers to kill it. Yeah, that seems pretty cool. A lot of pylons were unpowered, but those drops were picked off. So far this game, 2 disruptors have gone down, 4 Phoenixes, 17 zealots, and 2 interceptors, 1 sentry, and 7 medevacs. 7 medevacs is the biggest thing to account for. It shuts down how much Nero can drop in multitask. I don't know why this empty medevac's going this way. It might be a bait, it might be that he thought it was full of units, but it is not. And HuK is sitting on carriers. HuK has to survive basically and not let Nero pick him apart. And did he realize that medevac was empty? He's sending another one. I don't know why it's giving me this little thing here, but I'll just won't use that again. So that's the third, that's the main, and then okay. So Nero's posturing to snipe the third or do a doom drop. Which one will it be? The medevac's coming in here for the fourth, and that's gonna be big. That's gonna be this army. Oh, this army doesn't pick up though. So that's a third for a lot of bio. I think this base was scouted by a zealot. The supply, the worker count's even. The upgrade is in HuK's favor, I would say. Nero working on his 3-3, mixing a little bit of gas for that +3 infantry. He's going for the armor first. Two carriers chasing off a medevac. Medevac gets away. We're gonna have 6 carriers going to assault the 4th base of Nero, and Nero's quite far away from that base, so that base might actually go down. A single turret there. Let's see how HuK manages to take it down. Goes for the turrets and just attacks a bunch of workers, and then goes for the planetary. Planetary versus 6 carriers actually takes quite a while to go down. And yes, so but there's another planetary on this side of the map that has been spotted by HuK. A few workers will be shut down. Oh, and actually there's a big flank here coming from Nero. All the interceptors were unloaded because HuK was actually worried of his carriers being sniped, and that was the right move by him because they are being sniped. Most of the bio, most of the Vikings. So was that an even trade? I think it was. I actually think it was. All the interceptors are still left alive there, and Nero's fighting it. You should run out of there, buddy. That's not good for you. That's not healthy for you. Some of the Vikings are being chased off over there, and he's still saying, he's trying to finish off all the interceptors, but you don't have to kill them. If you just run away, they'll die eventually. And okay, so they're all dead now. Supply 154 versus 111. Is HuK still working on carriers? That, you know, if he had like the mothership with those carriers on the left side, they would have gone away alive, and that would have been kind of nice. So now it's going to be a little bit harder for him. Keep in mind with the mules, like Nero is already like 4 patches here, no patches there, 2 patches here. So he's only working on like really 1 base, while HuK still has his 3rd, still has some of his natural. And this little attack by Nero is cute, but it's not going to be enough. The real danger, though, is at the 4th. So HuK is more healthy. In terms of minerals, and Nero realizes that he's going to lift the main to relocate at the 5th, and that's really the biggest problem with carriers. Maybe if we were to see an Oracle with a stasis ward to prevent some of those flanks, to buy time for HuK to set up around the bio that is frozen somewhere. We see one of the disruptors getting a lot of kills, and the carriers are trying to chase away the medevac, so that kills a Thor and a Viking. Wow, that Thor disappeared. I think we just haven't seen enough carriers and Wings of Liberty in the heart of the swarm. They're really majestic. The way they kill units so quickly, it's quite a sight. HuK is going to be sending a lot of zealots on the left side of the map. He's probably thinking about that. Oh, is Nero going to see that? No, he didn't grab the watchtower in time. Those zealots are going to go undetected. Also, a rallying 6th base by Nero is going to get sniped by the carriers. The army of Nero is in the middle of the map. The zealots are going to reign, or their reign of terror is going to go on here. All the SCVs are running for their life, and we have another base being sniped. But the problem is the counterattack. HuK left with all his disruptors. Of course, he's got 2 full carriers and a mothership. The Nexus doesn't go down just yet. And I think... oh, is he going to dump the disruptors? The interceptors? He dumps the interceptors right before the carriers get sniped. So that's going to make it a little bit harder for Nero. And the SCVs actually... That's the SCVs that were at the 5th base. They went all the way across the map. 2 more carriers are out. And Nero taps out. HuK, after...